I want to share this with you, and then you'll tell me whether it is just emotional argument or is it something which is fact-based and something which has got logical support. I was a magistrate a long time ago, much like another judge did many, many years ago. And do you know, as a magistrate, we not only have to visit prisons, we also have to witness executions. It is not a must, but there is a roster. Again, this is all unknown to the public because nobody wants to talk about these things. These are all, inhuman things. But it happens, right? So let us not be the proverbial ostrich with a head in the sand. Because as a magistrate, which was way back in 1973, my turn came up and I was called to witness a hanging in Pudu prison. Even now, Pudu is no more there. At the crack of dawn, I remember knocking, using that brass doorknob, knocking on the green doors. Remember the very big green doors? They won't open the whole door for you, but just a little opening within the doors. And I went in there, met the governor of the prison, and I met the doctor. Two people must witness a hanging, a magistrate and a doctor. And that morning, what happened was that there were two boys. These were brothers, 19 years old and 21 years old. So obviously they were to be sentenced to death, and the death penalty was to be carried out because they were above 18. And what happened was that these boys had attempted to rob a policeman of his revolver somewhere in Chow Kit. A struggle ensued, the gun went off, the policeman was killed. And both were convicted of murder and sentenced to death. So as a young rookie magistrate, fresh out from university, they say, look, menurut perintah, you have to go lah, And then to my horror, we were taken down the death row, which is bilik akhir. Now, the moment a person is convicted of a capital offence and murder, the death sentence is passed, he is no longer grouped together with other prisoners. He is separated and he is in death row. That's what it is. They are there waiting to be executed. And they're all along this death row. I recall there were about 6 cells on the left, 6 cells on the right, passageway in the middle. And of course, early in the morning, all the inmates were wide awake. And as we approached the cell, there was the mufti or the imam was there to say prayers with the two boys. And they were then very quickly taken out of the cell. The moment they are brought out, the hands are cuffed behind the back and a white hood is put over their head, not a black hood. And they are marched to the gallows, which is a room next door to the cell. The moment they stand on the trap door, now the best way to describe this is that this is the ground floor. If you have a trap door above you, this room is completely empty and a trap door that opens up this way, right? And above the trap door, you have a metal frame, a very strong metal beam with 3 squares right in the middle of the trap door. That means you can take 3 executions at one time. 3 persons can be hung at the same time. And these 2 boys were marched to the 2 squares. The moment they are standing there, one warder will put a rope around his neck, another warder will be tying, cuffing his legs. Very, very fast, within less than a minute. And everybody steps back, and the executioner pulls the lever, and the trapdoor opens, and that is the loudest bang I've ever heard in my life. Because I saw 2 guys walking out alive, and then suddenly they are dropping. Besides the bang, total silence. Of course, not a whimper from them, and nobody said a word. After that, when I stepped back, I noticed there was a chart behind the executioner. I had a look. You know what that chart was? What it says? The weight of the person, and there's a formula for the length of drop of the rope. Because if the rope is too short, he will strangulate and struggle. And if it is too long, he will probably yank his whole head off. But that one was a good execution in the sense that we are told that within seconds he loses consciousness, but he doesn't immediately die because there's still oxygen running in the body, and that will take a few more seconds to happen. You would think that the body is taken down immediately. No, the bodies were left hanging for half an hour. In the meantime, the governor then says, let's go to John, pergi pejabat, minum kopi. I say, my goodness. I say, hey, no. Being a young rookie person, and I just witnessed 2 guys being killed, nothing short of being killed, and here's a guy says, come and drink coffee. And the whole idea was that to have the bodies remain hanging. And I'm taking too long to tell the story. But anyway, after 15 minutes, after half an hour, the bodies were taken down. The doctor signed off and said he was medically dead. And I had to sign off to say that it was carried out lawfully. All right? So that is all about what hanging out. So it may be emotional, but think about it. Was it ever known to the press? Was it ever known to the public? Nothing. Okay? So what good is it to say that it will serve as a deterrent when there's no information to the public for them to make a concerted decision? Next.